You ever move somewhere new and immediately realize, yeah, something's wrong here? This is that. The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, Goosebumps book number 14, dropped in 1993. This one is just straight up swamp horror. Like, everything about this is unsettling, feels gross, humid, and dangerous as hell. So the plot. A kid moves to a creepy swamp because his dad's weird science project, starts hearing some howling at night, and finds a strange dog while people keep blaming it for the animals brutally getting killed, until he realizes there's something way worse actually out there. You got this super calm, foggy swamp at night. Everything looks quiet, a little too quiet. And then you see this kid already turned into a wolf just sitting there howling at the moon, like this is his life now. Look at this, his clothes are just sitting there on the ground, perfectly fine. Not ripped, not shredded, just neatly left behind like he stepped out of them. That's honestly creepier than if they were tore up. I like this is not your typical werewolf either. This isn't some big humanoid monster. This is a straight up wolf, which makes it feel more real and unsettling. And then you got the magenta sky, the big bright moon, and then that nasty swamp water just bubbling and glowing next to him, like something is definitely wrong down there. But I'm not gonna lie, the artwork is actually really nice. It looks peaceful. This feels like somewhere deep in the bayou where you'd hear something and immediately regret leaving your house. Yeah, you would never catch me in a place like this. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Well, apparently the pigs are, because where are they at? Spoiler warning, you've been warned. The twist is, the kid's friend is the werewolf. But then it goes even further. After getting bitten, the main kid becomes a werewolf too. It ends with him running through the swamp during a full moon, like it's just his life now. Also, why is every Goosebumps parent like this? Yeah, let's move to the middle of nowhere. Oh, I got an idea. Let's move to a swamp. Yeah, that sounds great. Absolutely not. And then the second I hear howling outside at night, I'm not investigating anything. I'm locking the door and I'm going to sleep. Also, shout out to the dog for being the real MVP in this entire story. The TV episode changes a decent amount. They cut out a few characters, even rename the dog from Wolf to Vandal. They also flip Will's role. He's way more suspicious in the episode and even gets a darker backstory. The hermit gets it worse too, and the ending is different. In the book, the kid fully becomes a werewolf, but the episode keeps it more vague. Same story, but the book definitely commits a lot harder. So for me, I actually didn't read the book growing up when I was a kid. I saw the TV episode first. And that was honestly my first time really thinking about swamps. I grew up in North Georgia, and I've always heard about the Okefenokee Swamp. You know, it's down in South Georgia. But I always felt like it was just kind of this mysterious place. And then I finally went there in middle school with my family, rode on one of those fan boats, and it was actually really cool. But as a kid, this episode really had me thinking swamps were these just disgusting, creepy, disease-filled nightmare zones. Like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that. But actually, in reality, they're actually super important to the wildlife there. It's really a good part of the ecosystem and all that kind of stuff. And then werewolves? I loved werewolves growing up. Silver Bullet was one of my favorite movies. Plus the Wolfman, the Howling, the list can go on. Even stuff like Big Wolf on Campus, which was really campy back in the day. I loved watching all of it. So this was actually my first introduction to werewolves as a kid in a horror setting. Putting it in a swamp was just weird to me, because when I think swamp, I'm thinking alligators, not wolves. I read the book later on, and I gotta say, the book is definitely better than the episode. But I would still watch the episode. It's campy, it's fun, you'll have a good time. The Werewolf of Fever Swamp. Good stuff. Well, thanks for watching, and remember, if you hear howling in the woods, just mind your business. Next episode, we're diving into You Can't Scare Me, which already sounds like famous last words. See you then.